What's going on, traders? It is Will with Trader Society. I'm going to share with you the top 3 trading setups that I'm preparing to trade this week. These are by far some of the greatest setups that I've seen throughout 2022. So I will be focusing on the quality over quantity approach and just trading these setups. I'm extremely confident that they will work out. They have a phenomenal risk to return ratio. So I will be increasing my position size and respecting the risk in doing so. So without further ado, let's get right into it. I'm telling you, these are some A1 full confidence setups, and these are some of the greatest setups that I've seen in all 2022. This is by far expected to be legacy trades, legacy plays, where I put my name on this, and this is by far going to be the best setups at the best prices. Like I said, these are some of the greatest setups that I've seen all 2022. So this week is expected to be one of my greatest weeks into this year. So let's get right into it, and I'm going to share with you some bonus trades towards the end of this video, but we're going to keep the focus on the top 3. So the first one is going to be the SPY. As you can see, the SPY is currently moving down here towards extended hours. With that being said, this is what I want you to understand about the SPY right now. There is a gap that is waiting to fill above at $438.06, which is previous support. So what did SPY do? It cracked through this key support channel with big upside where it shot up to 440s to 450 multiple times, right? Once it cracked through this 430 level, this $438 to 436 level, it ended up pulling back all the way to the low of this bottom wick at 424.80. And as you could see, once SPY cracks 424.80, your next overall support level on the daily is sitting at $417. There's a gap to fill below at 417. So what I want you to understand is SPY is at the lower end of the channel, right? So the lower end of the channel is sitting right here. We're going to call it at 426. Right now, SPY is gapping down. There's a new gap to fill up at 426. So this is what I want you to understand. If this key 426 level reacts as a support level and it starts to break out, the SPY for the overall side move of the week is going to try to push up, go back to previous support and fill this gap at 438.06, which would be one of the best levels to buy put options on the SPY. Now, if the SPY can react and turn 426 into a resistance level, instead of going back up to fill this gap at 438, what it's going to try to do first is go back down to fill this gap below at 417. So heading into this week, I want you to think of a zone, and that zone is going to be the low of this candle. We're going to call it $424, and then the previous closing price, 426. That's the battle zone. If 424 cracks, reacts as a resistance, or if 426 reacts as a resistance, the SPY is going to fill this gap first at 417. Now, if the SPY can hold 424, break out and turn 426 into support, instead of it going back down to fill this gap right away at 417, it is going to try to push back up to fill this gap at 438. So what I want you to understand is we are towards the lower end of the middle of a channel. The best price for puts is 438.06. The best price for calls is 417. We're going to be looking to play gap close reversals both ways. You can, if you like, trade towards the middle lower end of the channel, which means you're trading towards a battle. You're trying to take advantage of key levels if you're trying to trade in between, which isn't the best thing to do, and you're trying to play for one of these gaps to fill, right? And like I said, if 424 breaks down, we will see a gap fill at 417 for the overall week. If 426 breaks out, we will be on track for a gap fill at 438. What are my current thoughts on the SPY? This daily chart looks extremely bearish. When you get these big red candles on SPY, it likes to go lower, and it is towards the lower end of the channel, and there is a gap to fill at 417. So I am expecting a gap fill play to 417 if 424 can crack and turn into resistance. The key middle level for puts is 426. The best level where I hit it with heavier size is 438. And then like I said, for calls, you can see right here, SPY has a gap up. There's a gap to fill right here at 416.25. SPY fills the gap, it bottoms out, has a reversal, and it rockets back up to the high of the channel. So one of the call option plays that we're going to be looking for in terms of SPY is if we could see bullish confirmations, if we could see signs of a strong bottom at 417, we're going to look for that history to repeat itself, where SPY gapped up here, it closed the gap, it had a reversal, it shot back up, right? So we're looking for that same history to repeat itself. We're looking for strong bullish confirmations, bullish trend reversal candlesticks to form at 417. If we get a bullish candlestick into the close, into the last 5 minutes of the close, we get a nice green bullish candlestick at 417, I will look to swing trade calls at that key level. Anything before then, right, is going to be a day trade. So it's a day trading opportunity and a potential swing trading opportunity if we can get a bullish candlestick on the daily candle. Same thing goes for 426. If we get a bearish candlestick at 426 on the daily, I'll look to possibly swing puts. If we get a bearish candlestick on 438, I'll look to swing trade puts as well. So these are day trading and swing trading opportunities. The swing trades aren't determined until the last 5 minutes of the close. So that's the game plan for SPY. 426 is going to be the best middle level, reacts as a resistance, buy puts, reacts as support. You can try to buy calls. Me personally, not interested in calls at 426 because within time, it does look like SPY wants to go down to 417. So if anything, I can attempt puts at 426 if it looks bearish. If I get stopped out, I wait till 438, right? And you know, once it hits 417, that's when I'm interested in calls. Those are the key levels. We're heading towards the lower end of the channel. So it's going to be a no-brainer to buy call options towards this low 417 level once we get the bullish confirmations. And then what we'll look for is a reversal back up to the previous support. Your previous support on SPY is at 438. So understand it cracked this key support. Now it's going back down to fill the gap. Once it fills the gap, we look for a reversal, and then that's when SPY is going to attempt to turn that, you know, shoot back up, go back to this previous support, and then it turns into resistance for a gap close reversal at 438.06. I'm telling you, this is the best setup at the best price. SPY isn't going anywhere. You could see it's had multiple gap close reversals. There was a gap to fill at 415. It filled the gap right here at 415, it rocketed right back up, right? And this is an overreaction. So towards this 417 or even, you know, 415, 412 level, we will look to buy calls to ride this back up to 426 to even potentially the 430s. SPY isn't going anywhere. We will look for those bullish confirmations. This is what you want as a trader. You want an overreaction where SPY fills this gap right here towards 450. It has a reversal, this gap to fill 447.57. It has a reversal, comes crashing back down to fill this gap. Once it fills the gap, we look for signs of reversal, ride it back up for the gap to fill above. That is what it is that we're looking at in terms of the SPY. So we're keeping it very simple and we're looking to trade it both ways. The hardest way to trade it is going to be to trade it towards the middle. Like I said, you want to focus towards the higher end of the channel, which is 438, and the lower end of the channel, which is 417. In terms of the middle, 426 is going to be your make it or break it level. If it reacts to support, SPY breaks out, it tries to go back to fill this gap. If it reacts to resistance, SPY breaks down and it tries to go to 417. Those are going to be the best setups, and there's going to be 3 trading opportunities on those setups. Calls if support forms at 417. Puts if resistance forms at 426. Puts if resistance forms at 438. These are big risk to return ratio trades and they're key levels. So if they don't work at our key levels, we get stopped out quickly on our options for a 15-20% loss. If these trades do work out, they print and we can make a quick 50 to even 100% within 1 hour of trading. Those are the top plays for the SPY. Like I said, these are A1 full confidence setups. What kind of opportunity do you get when SPY rips up to 450s quickly, then within 2 days, it drops all the way to 424, narrowly filling this gap. So we're going to look for that gap close reversal. I'm telling you, these overreactions, these reversals are going to be perfect. This is expected to be one of our best weeks of 2022. The volatility is here. The best prices are here. We're just waiting for the key levels to hit. And then once we get those confirmations, once we get the reactions we're looking for, right, then we enter the trade. If we don't get a reaction, say SPY hits 417, we're not just going to buy calls at 417. It has to look attractive. It has to look bullish. It has to look like it's bottoming. It's forming higher support. It's forming bullish trend reversal candlesticks. It's forming support, right? So we're using reactions, not just strategies and key levels, but confirmations and reactions. If it reacts the way we want it to, we step in the trade, use a tight stop, 15-20%. We get stopped out, no worries, because when we win, we'll make double to triple that on the wins, right? So it's a 1 to 3 risk to return ratio. That's what we're aiming for. Now, our next setup is going to be Tesla. Again, this is an A1 setup, just like SPY. Tesla shot up, it filled the gap, it had a reversal. We absolutely crushed it on puts last week. And with that being said, there's key support on Tesla in the 970s. There's a gap to fill below at 977.20. If Tesla can form a bullish candlestick like this on the daily at this 970s and bottom out, it will be a swing trade. Anything before the last 5 minutes of market close is considered a day trade. So if we get some bullish confirmations, bullish reactions at 977.20, that's where the gap is waiting to fill towards the bottom of the support channel. We're going to look to ride it back up to about $1,000. That is the play on Tesla to play the gap close reversal, right? So remember, if it reacts the way we want it to at these key levels, right? So in hindsight, we want to buy calls at 977.20. But once it gets to that level, we need a bullish reaction. We need a bullish confirmation. If we don't get the reaction, if we don't get the confirmation and it cracks through, we sit on the sidelines, reset the price alert, and then once that price alert triggers, once it cracks and then it goes back above 977, and then if we get the reaction, if it looks bullish, then we enter the trade, right? So we're using confirmations, we're using bullish reactions. We're not just blindly getting in on a strategy. It has to look attractive and react the way we want it to at that specific strategy, at that specific key level. But these are what the best setups look like. But that doesn't mean that the best setup is going to react the way we want it to, right? So you have to be laser focused and study the reaction. Is it bottoming out? Is it forming bullish candlesticks? Is it forming higher support? Is it starting to break out? If so, then you buy the calls. If it cracks through, if it looks bearish, if it forms lower highs, you will avoid it until it looks bullish. So you just reset the price alerts, right? Once you get the reaction you're looking for at the key level, that's when you get in on the trade. So we're looking for the gap close reversal on Tesla. You got strong, heavy support, and look at the daily. If this cracks through 976, 977, it's going to get ugly because your next support level on the daily is all the way down here at 920. And that's a very possible that it can happen, right? So you got to use the bullish confirmations. So our next play is going to be Ater. Ater has a gap to fill at 385. That's where it's heading. All stocks look micro bearish right now. They're going to be on track to go back down to fill their gaps below, like SPY 417, Tesla 977.20, Ater 385. We're looking to use the same strategy. Ater call options for a nice run up back to about 420, 430, 440. Look to get in at 385, right? If they don't react the way we want it to at first, we reset the price alert at the key level, and then once it triggers and once it reacts the way we want it to, then we enter the trade. So those are the setups. SPY puts 426 if it reacts as a resistance level, on track for a 417 gap fill. You can attempt to buy calls. I don't recommend it. Since there is a gap to fill 417 and this looks bearish, I don't recommend calls at 426. I would recommend calls towards 417. And then the best price for puts are 438. Those are the three levels that I'm interested on the SPY, right? So it's mainly just puts, 426, puts, 438, and calls at 417, right? Ater, 385 calls. That's the only play I'm interested on Ater. Call options at 385. Tesla, only play I'm interested in is calls at 977.20. So notice in terms of like bearish levels, I'm really only interested in puts on SPY at 426 and 438, right? And then I'm just waiting for Ater to go down to fill the gap below for a potential call play, and then for Tesla to go back down to 977 for a potential call play, right? So understand, stocks are looking micro bearish. They're getting ready to fill these lower gaps towards these key support levels with big upside potential. So there's going to be some phenomenal trading opportunities, right? With puts, you got to be focused on key resistance levels only. So 426 could be a great key resistance level, and then 438 would be one of the best micro levels for puts, right? You don't want to fully milk this because we just had a major sell-off these past 2 days. So if 426 reacts as a resistance, I'll try puts. If I get stopped out, I get stopped out. I mean, I kind of deserve it because it's chasing the lower end of the middle of the channel. So from here, it's mainly just waiting for a gap fill at 438 for puts or a gap fill at 417 for calls. That's the best thing we could be doing. Like I said, stocks right now are looking micro bearish. It looks like they're going to continue to go down into this week, and then we could start to see a reversal at those key levels that I've explained. These are some bonus plays. Just know these aren't the best setups. So in terms of the best setups ranked in order, the three key levels on SPY, 426, 417, and 438, Those are the best price levels to be trading SPY. Those are the only levels I'm looking to trade it this week, right? All we need is one great trade a week, and that's the best one I'm seeing. I'm also liking, I would rank this as number 2, Tesla call options at 977.20. And then number 3, and my least favorite setup, Ater calls at 385. So those are the top 3 stocks that I'm watching and that I'm looking to trade into this week. In terms of Netflix, we're waiting for bullish candlesticks. I want to do like a midterm or a leap option trade. Give this one some time. The Tesla midterm leap call options are very cheap right now. It's due for some sort of bounce. It's due for some reversal. This one's on the back burner. We're waiting for bullish candlesticks on the daily. That's what we're waiting for in terms of Netflix. We're waiting for it to show signs of a bottom, to show signs of strength, right? In terms of this stock, this is a bonus play. I want you to keep an eye on SST. Take a look at this play here. There is key support. You got key support in the 1390s. Very explosive stock. You got a gap to fill right here at 2045. It's trying to bottom out towards this key support level. I mean, you could just see it's starting to form these bullish candlesticks. It's trying to break above 14. It keeps struggling, but once it starts to break out, the stock goes parabolic. So I'm looking for a similar move. So what I'm looking into on this one is a leap option passive income play where you would just kind of hold it. In terms of the contracts that I'm really liking, it's the August 19th. We have 117 days for this to squeeze. 12.5 strike. The bid is 145. The ask is 185. You get filled in the middle. And if you look at this, the open interest is picking up. The volume's at 157. And if you do the math, the strike is 1250. Say you get in at $1.50 a contract. Your break even, 1250 plus 150 is $14. Your break even is $14, which is literally at the stock price. So if it just can start to rip above 14, I mean, okay, just put it this way. Where are you going to find a contract, right? Where are you going to find a contract where your break even is literally at the stock price right now and it expires in 117 days? I'll let the mic drop there, because that's like such a rare hard find. The stock is literally at your break even price and it has 117 days to expire, right? So you have all the time in the world for it to squeeze and it's already at your break even. It seems like such a no-brainer. So that's a passive income play that looks very, very good and very, very ideal. What you can do is you could wait for the volume to pick up and you could wait for it to go above 1420 to get in on that particular situation. That's what I would recommend. In terms of other stocks, Cliff looks like an absolute train wreck. The make it or break it level for this one is going to be $29.16. If we can crack and turn this $29 level into a resistance, Cliff is going to get crushed and it's going to be on track to fill the gap at $27.47. So just know Cliff filled this gap. It's reacting as a resistance level. If $29 cracks and turns into resistance and this daily candle looks so bearish, Cliff will be on track to get crushed. So I am interested in some Cliff puts as well for a gap fill play to $27.47, which is where it can potentially try to have a reversal. There is also a gap to fill at $25.51. Cliff looks like it's about to fall off a cliff. So I am interested in buying some Cliff puts. If once $29 reacts as a resistance level, that's another play I'm liking. Same thing for Walmart, but I like Cliff more. If this Walmart can maintain this 156.86 into resistance, we'll be on track for a gap fill to 155.88. If it cracks 155.88, it falls off a cliff and goes to 153. I like the Cliff put play better, so that's going to be my main interest. Another one is American Airlines. American Airlines looks very bearish. It looks like it wants to go back down to fill this gap. There's a gap to fill at 1947. That's where I think it's heading. Stocks are looking very micro bearish right now. In terms of my favorite out of the ones that I just went over, not including the top 3, so I would say the top 4 setup, Cliff puts at $29. If it reacts to resistance, Cliff puts at $28.95. Write it back down to fill this gap at $27.55. I'm liking that setup. That would be one of my favorites in terms of the top 4. I already went over the top 3. And yeah, that's mainly it. And then we have this passive income play on the radar, this SST. Like I said, best thing you could do with this one, wait for it to start to break out, wait for the volume to pick up, wait for it to rise above 1420, look to get in there. So in terms of the top 3 setups, SPY, Tesla, Ater in order, and our bonus play is going to be Cliff puts at $29. Those are truly going to be the best setups at the best prices heading into this week. So this is expected to be one of our greatest weeks in terms of 2022, just because the setups are at their best key levels. I mean, we're talking in terms of these levels, they only come around once every like month or once every 2 months. So these are A1 full confidence setups. I will be increasing my position size. I'll be taking that, extra risk personally. And with that being said, if you do want to watch us trade live at market open via live stream every single day, where we trade these setups once the price alert triggers, we go over the reactions and we go over the game plan. You get to see the entry, you get to see the exit, etc., the entire game plan. You also get the stock watch list, the updates with all the new setups and the updates with the current setups every single day when those updates arise and when those new price alerts arise, right? If you do want to join us, it's going to be that first link below in the description to join Trader Society. It's all explained within that first link in the description in terms of what you get access to: lifetime access, instant access to the live trading streams that we do every single day at market open, where you get to watch us trade live on stream. You get access to the chat room, to the real-time trade alerts within chat room, to the members. We have so many great members who are giving out their trade ideas, who are giving out their trading callouts in real time. You get to pick their brain, you get to learn from them. You could send me or them, add us a friend on Discord, send us a direct message. And then of course, the video lesson library. Within the video lesson library, you will learn the gap trading method strategies that we are using to consistently profit within the stock market and trading both ways with these option contracts. You can also trade shares with them. You will also learn the mindset and psychology, risk management, and position sizing to trading. So if you want to check it out, and I would really encourage you to get started now, just because these are the types of setups, and we are going to nail them this week. These are the types of setups where you can make back the cost of Trader Society within just one single great trade. We have many members who've already made back the cost of the program within their first week. We have one member who's made over 6 figures since joining. We have another member who actually hit 8 figures this year. So if you do want to be a part of us, it's going to be that first link down below in the description. I will see you guys tomorrow live at market open at 9:38 a.m. and I will be sending the watch list update heading into the morning within the new updates on our current stocks on the watch list and the new updates with all the top gainers and top losers that will appear in the pre-market tomorrow. I will see you guys till then. It's going to be the first link down below in the description. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video.